Hi to everyone. It is a pleasure to have you all here at Universidad Xochicalco, institution with over 50 years of supporting our medical students. Alongside the IMG Mentorship program, we are proud to celebrate your achievements. Today, we have students that have successfully completed Step 1, Step 2, or matched into a medical residency. Let's get to know them.
Absolutely. My name is Antonio Romero. I am originally from San Diego. I graduated from Xochicalco University in 2021, and I matched into internal medicine in Desert Regional Medical Center in Palm Springs.
Why did you decide to study medicine here at Xochicalco?
Absolutely. I'd always been really interested in pursuing medicine. I knew that I wanted to be a physician in the United States, and I knew that that was a possibility here at Xochicalco University. I'd always been very impressed on paper with Xochicalco University. I know that the school, even back then, was accredited internationally. Which again goes with my personal goal of trying to go back to the States. What really sold me though was the on-campus tour, seeing like all the students, all the genuinely like smiling faces of the students. I think that's what really sold me.
Nice, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Alexa Bentley. I recently passed Step 1. I'm originally from San Diego, and I decided to come to Xochicalco. Very similar to Marco's story is that I was always interested in becoming a physician in the US, and I got a little curious to the different alternative paths you can take when pursuing that career. And I came for an on-campus tour as well, in which I got to participate in their classes, and I saw their facilities, I saw their OR, and I was very impressed with the teachers, and I saw this as a viable opportunity for me to pursue this, and then just in a maybe not as traditional manner.
Okay.
And yeah, the fact that they assured me that they were internationally accredited and that this was a possible pathway for me to reach my dreams, overall made me come to this school and decide to be a part of such a good.
Hi, my name is Alejandro Chen. I'm from Tijuana. I graduated since 2021, like Marco. We are classmates, and I studied here in Xochicalco because that was my first two, one or three options. So I found it's a great option here because the time was really short here, and it's like a great option to me and to my family, and because I'm from Tijuana and this school is so near from my home. I already passed the Step 1.
Hi everyone, my name is Montserrat. I am 25 years old. I'm from Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. I graduated from Universidad Xochicalco back in 2023. I have always been interested in studying medicine ever since I was like toddler, and Universidad Xochicalco was one of my first choices. When I first came here and I saw the study plan, I was really impressed with all the subjects and things that I probably didn't understood back then. And I remember that one of the points that really made me want to study here is that somebody said to me, oh, you know that you can also pursue a career in the States because we are certified internationally.
So, Monse, you say you were really impressed by Xochicalco's curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us what were your favorite classes and why?
Okay, well, cardiology. I have always been really interested in cardiology, but going back to our basic science program, I was always interested in physiology, how does the body work, and pathophysiology, there's a problem, why is the body having like that issue, and then how can we solve it? So it was really interested because Xochicalco has this curriculum, this syllabus that it's divided by organs and systems. When comparing to other schools that they may not have it that way. So you see like the respiratory system, how does it work? And then if this thing doesn't work, then how can you solve it?
Yeah.
So like it's like you go like
full cycle.
circling back to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So academic-wise, it impressed you?
Yes.
Okay, nice. Yes. Alexa, hi. So we want to know more about your academic experience. What do you think of the curriculum of Universidad Xochicalco's?
Some of my favorite courses, I would say, was cardiology, pulmonology, honestly, hematology, oncology.
Yeah.
There's only like a few that came up that were my favorite, but overall, I liked a lot of them. I would say my favorite part, my favorite part of studying here was when you get to second level and you were able to go to the clinics. And that was really interesting because you were able to have two teachers
Yeah.
of that same specialty, and then they give you their most important points depending on their experiences. So that kind of gave you a more well-rounded kind of experience, being able to be in class and then another day go and actually see those same pathologies in person, treatments, and then also hear what another specialist had to say. So I would say a lot of the classes were very well taught for me, and I liked the majority, I would say.
Theory, but also practice.
Exactly.
Yeah. Marco, academic-wise, Universidad Xochicalco's curriculum, what was it like to have the courses but also the modules?
Absolutely. So I think it's a little bit easier to explain what a module is compared to a traditional medical school. Whereas in a traditional medical school, you would typically, I'll give a scenario. So in your first year, you might see all of physiology, all of anatomy. And then say at the end of your second year, you're looking at cardiology. You have to try to recall whatever you learned in your first year. So the way it's taught at Xochicalco is organ-based. So if you're looking at cardiology, the heart, you'll learn about the anatomy of the heart. You'll learn about the way the heart works, the physiology, the medication. So it's very integrative to each organ system versus trying to memorize all of anatomy, all of physiology. I felt like that really worked for me, and it made a lot more sense when, again, in the latter half of medical school, going into clinical rotations, it was easier to try to remember things by organ system rather than, everything combined at the same time.
Did you have a favorite class?
I think I can't really say I had a favorite class. I love physiology of most organ systems. I think that indecisiveness between specialties is why I actually chose internal medicine. Because I love most, if I had to pick one, it would probably be cardiology, but I love nephrology, endocrinology, heme-onc, I loved all of it.
And you get to see them all in internal
Exactly.
medicine. Yeah, nice. And Alejandro, Chen, what was your favorite course, or your favorite module, your favorite class while you were studying?
Yeah, personally, I think one of my favorite topics was pharmacology in general. It's a great topic. In my experience, when I talk about at the beginning, I never talk about how much I love the medicine really, and how to understand how the body it's work, and how it's turned when something it's normal change and transform into something pathology. It's so really interesting. So, but the other thing I learned from my professors was how to treat that condition, that disease. But the most important thing is how to treat their patient. So when I learned the pharmacology in general, at all the topics of pharmacology, I love it. That was my favorite topic, pharmacology.
Yeah, nice. And about your experience as a student here at the Universidad Xochicalco, how was your relationship with the faculty in the medical school?
Well, okay, in the med school, I make a lot of friends. Since I graduated here, one of my professors gave me the opportunity to teach like a professor now. So I have a lot the experience, and I have the opportunity to transmit all my knowledge to my students. It was great, and some of my professors was my professor and was my colleague, and then turned to be one of my friends, my best friends.
Nancy, what can you tell us about the faculty of medicine?
Well, I have always felt really welcome by them. They were really approachable. If you had any question, we always have this idea that, oh my God, this question is so dumb. Like, how will I be able to ask this question? But they honestly always were open to any questions. And what I really liked and appreciated is that one of the things I remember one teacher told us is that if I don't know the answer to that question, because that is totally fine, I'm going to look it up and then we can review it together. So that was really interesting to me, to take into acceptance that we may not have all the knowledge, and then how do we approach that, even as a physician?
Yeah. Oh. Was your experience similar, Marco? Or what was your experience?
I completely agree. I agree with Montserrat. All the faculty, they were very, very approachable, even outside of class hours. It was never judgmental. You really were able to build a very strong rapport with faculty, even seeing them like outside of school, like in extracurriculars, Noche Mexicana, sometimes in sporting events. They were your teachers, and they also, ended up being your friends as well.
And how about you, Alexa?
Well, my experience here was very interesting since I was used to being in a high school in San Diego, and then just kind of the culture shock of coming to Mexico, even though I am Mexican. But I got the opportunity to meet some very wonderful people, some that are sitting here, that we were classmates. And as for teachers, there were some very passionate teachers that were very important in instilling like a good doctor-patient relationship, and just the clinical side and the human side, along with the medicine. And I thought that was something very important. Some teachers were like, hey, like some doctors will act like this, but you must always listen to your patient. And that also comes in with the practice that we got in our classes. And I agree with everything that everyone said. There was some very passionate teachers, but that passion didn't take away from their openness to accept any questions, or maybe if you like didn't agree on something, like, oh, I thought I read this, and they're like, okay, well, I'll look it up and then discuss that later. So I found it very rewarding to study here.
Oh, that's so nice. And you mentioned the clinical and the practical stuff. What can you tell us about your clinical rotation? Where was it? When was it?
My clinical rotation is in my intern year, or
yeah.
Okay. I did my intern year in Houston, and I got to go through various clinics and some hospitals. My first one was family medicine. I did family medicine, then pediatrics, cardiology, orthopedic surgery, and pulmonology. So I got to see all of those specialties in the U.S., which was very interesting, since I had been now coming here and studying here. It was another culture shock to go to another country, but even then I had never been to Texas before. So to see how they worked and everything, it was very interesting, because they also it's one of the biggest medical centers in the world. So just the pure advancements that they had was very nice to see.
Do you think it helped you, like being on another country in another city, with your medical formation, that you complemented it somehow?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, so I think it was just very important at least for me, who is pursuing a residency in the U.S., to have the experience here and have the experience there, because here it was very patient-centered. So to be able to go over there and also see, I don't know, it kind of complemented just over there. It's very like science.
You learn new things.
Yeah, here there was we had to rely more on like physical exploration, where maybe there they had a 3D scan of I don't know. So it was really cool to be over there. And then also I learned how to use all their system for the clinical notes, and being able to understand how they write those clinical notes, the language that they use. And I got to learn a little bit also about insurance companies or things like that are very important.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about your clinical rotation?
So I did my intern year in Houston, Texas. I went through different specialties: family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, but my favorite were cardiology and hematology oncology. It was really interesting to see all the treatment options that they have available for patients, and even when they reach the final treatment line, then the patients will be enrolled in clinical research, which is something that we read about in school, but we don't see it like develop. And it was really interesting to also advocate for the Latino community, even in the States. and some of them were relieved to see that somebody in the office speaking Spanish, so they felt really at ease. So
Okay.
it was also like, that was one of the greatest experiences to my.
Okay,
To
and
me.
were any of your classmates went to Texas with you?
Yes, so so there were around 4 of us
Okay.
from the same class, and then also students from different Xochicalco campuses. Mexicali, there were like
Okay.
4 of them, and 2 from Xochicalco, Ensenada.
Was it easier to know that someone from Mexico was there?
Yes, it was really, okay. Yes, you felt at ease knowing that there were also students from Mexico and also students from Xochicalco, you know, that you may have not met elsewhere.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Alejandro, what was your intern year like?
Well, my intern year was here in Tijuana, Mexico. I do my intern year from hospital here in Tijuana, and that year, especially to me, it was very interesting and was a year so very helpful because you have a lot of responsibility to the patients and a lot of responsibility for your PIs. So that year it was really transitional to me because I never had a lot of responsibility too much like that year personally, but I learned a lot with my colleagues and with my friends, and yeah, that's it.
Okay. Marco, hi. And what was your clinical rotation like?
Absolutely. So during my 5th year of medical school, where I did my intern year, as well, I did it in Houston, in the Houston, Texas Medical Center, which is the largest medical center in the world. For me, it's completely indescribable. Being able to have that first-hand exposure to world-class medicine, with highly, very smart, highly accomplished individuals, experts in their field, was completely amazing. Being able to connect with those physicians also gave the opportunity for research. So I was able to do some research, get some research under my belt there. And also I was able to acquire letters of recommendation, which are very important for acquiring residency in the United States. So it was completely amazing. Something that I think speaks very highly of the university as well is you do get that perspective, being able to go from rural communities in Tijuana all the way to world-class medical care in the Houston, Texas Medical Center. It was amazing. I loved it.
And please tell us more about that research project.
Yeah, so I did research during public health here, and then I did research when I was in Houston. In Houston, the research that my colleagues and I worked on was assessing the clinical reasoning of large language models such as, or AI, such as ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, in assessing and managing and diagnosing complex cardiology cases from the American Heart Association Circulation Journal. That was amazing. So I got a little bit of cardiology research done.
Oh, nice. Alejandro, did you participate in any research projects? Sorry.
Yeah, from my time here at the school, yes, I participate. I remember in 2 or 3 protocols with my classmates, and we have the opportunity to participate in some of many of symposium at the semester, at the end of the semester. So yeah, and all the topics we talk about it was public health.
And you, Montserrat?
Yes, so throughout medical school, we developed 2 research projects, which were presented at the symposium of our school. And I'm currently working on a protocol. It's almost done. It's a cardiology paper, and hopefully it does well.
And can you share us about any project you participated in, Alexa?
Yeah, in Xochicalco, they have a class for us called Investigación, in which we are required to it's not just like formulating a research paper, but it's also, from the beginning, it teaches you what is a hypothesis,
Okay.
what is the order of everything, the different parts. We learned statistics that go along with our research project, so that was very interesting. As part of my investigation, I worked with another student, a friend of mine, and we actually did a pediatrics research in which we compared if the mother's nutrition would affect the baby's nutrition at all. And we would just cold call the patients, and we would see how the baby had been going to the bathroom and if they had improved or gotten worse, and we try to find relation in that. It was very interesting because, like my colleagues have mentioned, we had school symposiums in which you could present your projects. But especially in my class, we also got to go to Ensenada to see other schools' presentations, research presentations as well. So that was very interesting. And with that information that Xochicalco prepared me for, I look forward to being part of research projects soon.
Were your colleagues from Xochicalco as well?
Yes.
Oh, it's nice that you got to collaborate.
Yes.
So you were born in San Diego, right?
Yes.
Did you also did high school in the U.S.? Would you recommend studying medicine abroad?
Absolutely. I think this was definitely the right choice for me. Just because in the U.S., apart from the extra years that it takes because you have to do an undergrad before, it's also those extra years are also an extra cost in the long run. So other than that, I saw that Xochicalco had a competitive curriculum, had the accreditation, just the time frame was shortened, and it just seemed like a better option for me. And so far, I got amazing opportunities. Like I mentioned, I got to do my intern year in the US, which was amazing, world-class doctors, seeing different specialties, advancements. And now I've actually passed my step 1, so I can see that it is possible to study here and reach your dreams of matching into residency in the US. So for me, it was absolutely the correct choice.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Also, Marco, would you recommend American students to study medicine abroad?
Absolutely. Similar to Alexa, I'm also from San Diego.
Yeah.
So obviously you do have to have an open mind, be prepared to adapt. Everybody's background is different. I was very excited about the opportunity of actually connecting with my roots. All of my family is from Mexico. So I thought that was a fantastic opportunity personally. Obviously, the financial economic was a very, very important and not understated reason as to why I decided to study here in Mexico. Absolutely, if you set your goals, Xochicalco gives you all of the tools, all of the opportunities. If you want volunteering, you can do volunteering. If you want to do research, you can do research. We have the IMG Mentorship program. If you want to, go back to the United States, I would absolutely recommend it.
Any advice for the American students planning to do medicine here in Mexico?
Yeah, I think it's very important, as I mentioned, have an open mind, be prepared to adapt. There can be, depending on your background, you can have, cultural, language barriers. At the end of the day, I do believe that does broaden your perspective and does make you a more well-rounded physician. Set your goals. If you want to do the steps, if you want to pursue residency, day 1, take every opportunity that you get. The experience really is what you make of it.
Thank you so much. Final question. Why did you choose to be part of the IMG mentorship program?
Personally, for me, when I started studying for the steps, or when I want to start studying for the steps, there's so many resources. I think anybody who's studying for the USMLEs, I can probably name 10 off the top of my head resources. You don't know where to start. And that's really where the IMG mentorship program, we both met when we were supposed to meet. I got to meet with amazing mentors. At the time was Dr. Melanie Duran. After it was Isabella, who helped me out a lot. That really was fundamental in my success being able to match.
Wow. Alejandro, why did you choose to be part of this program?
Well, in my case, when Isabella come here and talk to me about that program, that's what's really, really interesting to me. Isabella is a person, very, very organized person. So she make when she make some schedule, we just need to pursue that schedule and she have a great idea to me, and when she explained how what the resource and what you need to do for study and that exams, to me was really comforting.
How about you, Monse? What were you thinking when you decided to apply?
So yes, so when I first started to study for step 1, I remember thinking to myself, oh yeah, I got it. It's like I just need to do the question bank and do some videos and that's it. But you become overwhelmed. It's a lot of material, as some of my colleagues have already said. So you don't know really how to study because there's a lot of resources out there. So when I got into the mentorship program, I was the mentee for Dr. Isabella Miret. Without a doubt, without her help, I wouldn't have been able to take my step 1. And she took my hand and she said, okay, let's review. What are you doing? Maybe we can adjust some things. You need to do a certain amount of questions per day and then review them. How are you reviewing the questions? And it was like a whole assessment. And I also feel that it can be a really lonely process. So throughout the IMG program, you get to meet other people who are, pursuing the same route as you, and you don't feel as lonely as you feel in the beginning. So yeah, it was a really comforting program and a really comforting mentor.
So from what I've heard, it's all about meeting the right people at the right time.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Is it similar with you, Alexa?
Yeah, very, very similar. Like my colleagues have been mentioning, it can be very overwhelming. There are so many sources. Like when I started, I was watching like 3 different channel YouTube videos. I was trying to read all of first aid. I was trying to do UWorld, and then there was Anki, and then there was Sketchy. And it's just, there's so much. And to be able to actually sit down and talk to a mentor and tell me like, all those sources are good, but let's kind of personalize it to your experience is what made the difference. I never felt like Isabella tried to make me stick to a plan that just worked for her. She listened and she tried to work out the best game plan for me, and overall I think that was a key point to my success. And as Monse mentioned, that's as well, apart from just the mentoring, but be able to actually connect with different people going through the same road that you're going on, the same adventure, I guess, is very comforting. Because I remember our first dinner, I came out a lot lighter, being able like, is it just me or is this like really hard? And it feels lonely because I mean you're studying alone most times, so to be able to have our group chat and then to have the mentor and to be able to just ask questions in our group chat is very important just to the well-being as well as a student going through this process.
So now we're gonna meet this amazing Dr. Isabella. Can you please introduce yourself to the camera?
Yes. Well, I'm Carla Isabella Miret Durazo, originally born in Tijuana but raised in San Diego. I got my bachelor's degree in San Diego State, so a little bit different than to my friends and now colleagues. But I got the experience of getting the best of both worlds, right? The education in the United States and just the opportunities of being present in a different healthcare system in a different country. So really excited to have the opportunity. I'm also currently the Chief IMG Mentor of the Mentorship, and it honestly has been the privilege of a lifetime to be able to just spend time and kind of guide everyone, these 50 brilliant mentees, through the same route and all pursuing our same goal. I just recently matched into general surgery preliminary at UC Irvine Medical Center.
Nice. Can you please explain to us who are not part of the program what the IMG Mentorship Program is about?
The IMG Mentorship Program has a very specific objective, and that is to be guiding students, graduates, alumni, anyone who is interested in pursuing a career, specifically a medical career here in the United States. So our objective is to just kind of guide them, show them that it's possible, and give them the tools to achieve their dreams. So it's kind of a well-rounded academic, administrative, and moral support of a program.
And how does it work with the Xochicalco students that want to do their residency in the US?
So regardless of what route you are, whether it's traditional or the bilingual medical school, this program is welcoming to you. Well, the only thing that we need is your goal of pursuing residency here in the United States and to show some kind of commitment, whether it is buying the resource that we recommend or obtaining an ECFMG number. As long as we have that first step, we will then bring you into our program and accompany you to reaching your goal.
Oh, wow. Why did you decide to become the chief of the IMG mentorship program?
Well, as my friends mentioned, this is a very lonely route. And so for myself, I was also part of the IMG mentorship program as a mentee. I came into this program a little bit later in the game, and it was really different when I joined and had someone kind of provide a structured environment and who would check in on me and check in on my well-being, and just seeing how I was doing in this process was what really made a difference. And so seeing how the program helped me made me realize that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to kind of just hold everyone's hand and be like, don't give up, you can do this. And so here we are. And as I mentioned, this has honestly been just a privilege. And I hope to, even though I won't be part of the program in my state as a mentor, I still want to be part of it, for years to come and just keep growing this community. Very fortunate.
And I saw it here with these students that are so grateful of you being part of this program. You were the one that helped them through their process.
Honestly, hearing all the words, they kind of make me a little bit emotional because you create a family, right? We start off as mentor-mentee, but I always tell everyone on our first interview, aside from having a mentor-mentee relationship, you become friends. You create a friendship, a community that's really just family sense. And so really lucky to not only be able to witness everything that everyone has achieved in the program, but also very fortunate to now have them all as friends and see them reach their goals is probably the best, most rewarding thing that I can get from it.
And do you have any advice to the IMG program students that want to be part of the mentorship program here at Universidad Xochicalco?
Yes. It seems scary and it seems like a long process, but if there is one piece of advice that I can give is follow your gut. If your dream is to be a medical doctor here in the United States or in Mexico, any dream is possible. As long as you have the right people to guide you and the right tools, you can achieve it. So never give up and just continue on forward. With determination and passion, you can do anything.
Yay. We have witnessed the talent, dedication, effort, and success of these students. Congratulations to you all, and we can wait to see where your story continues.